Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining the Secretary of State's virtual nonprofit event. I'm Betsy Bogart, Chief of the Business Programs Division, and we are excited to share information with you today about nonprofits and our new bizfile online tool. This workshop is being recorded, and shortly after the conclusion of the workshop, the recording will be available on the Secretary of State's YouTube channel, as well as emailed to all the registrants. So be on the lookout for that. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley N. Weber.
Good morning, Betsy, and thank you so much to you and to the program, Business Program Division and the outreach team for putting together this very important event. It has been a vision of mine, obviously, to bring out the best that we have in the Secretary of State, to bring all of our different divisions in so that the public can have an opportunity to see them. And to get information from them and to help you as you navigate the business aspects of California. You know, it's really interesting as we have worked together for the last couple of years now, that the group has grown and has basically taken on new challenges and tasks in terms of making it easy for those in the public to be able to access the resources we have from home, but from your phone, or even coming into the office. So I want to thank them for doing it. During the time of COVID, I noticed that while we were trying to endure a lot of different things, and one of the things I was most concerned about was our nonprofits, particularly those that are small nonprofits, because our nonprofits make a tremendous difference in the lives of the people of California. I often say it's you know, as when I was a legislator and now as your constitutional officer, that it's, you know, we make big plans. We provide support and resources and those kinds of things. But it really is the small entities, the families, the communities, the churches in our community that really take what we have as a state and really make it valuable to our constituents. Basically bring the heart into the activities that we've engaged in. And we could not do most of the things we do in the state without our nonprofits. No matter how small or how large, they have a tendency to want to get to the heart of the matter and to make a difference. And with that, I just observed during COVID that we did a number of workshops in my district at the time on nonprofits, and they were well attended, significant number of people coming. And we partnered with the University of San Diego that has a whole program on nonprofits, because many of you do such amazing work, but you don't have the resources. You don't have a staff, you don't have the lawyers, you don't have all these people that can help you navigate and make your organization a stronger and better organization. And I know during COVID, many things fell through the cracks with regards to nonprofits and the work that's there. Our bizfile online allows you access to a host of resources that are available with step-by-step instructions on how to basically navigate business in California. And our job is to make it better and stronger than ever before. You know, California has grown in its active businesses. It's a bit amazing that we have assisted over 2 million people online, and our business entities have grown from 2 million to 2.9 million, almost a million additional ones added, and about 250,000 of those are nonprofits. So you're a large division and entity in California. You touch everybody's life. You make a difference wherever you go. And so we're just pleased that you joined us today so that you can hear what's going on in the nonprofit world. You see the faces of the experts in our field who can give you additional information. We want to provide the best customer service that's available. We have a vision for the Secretary of State's office for all of our employees to believe that this is what we call the point of destination, the place where people want to come to work, want to come get resources, want to come get advice and get support. And we value you so much in terms of being our constituents and giving you the best customer service that you'll find in California. So we will continue to do a number of things. We're going to have more virtual and in-person business kind of educational events in the Secretary of State's office, all geared toward helping you run a better organization, enhance your community, and do the things that are so essential. I want to thank Betsy and her team and the outreach team as well for the work that they're doing in making this possible. You're going to have some great key presenters with Greg Buford and Tammy Rink, and they're going to be sharing their expertise with you. We know you're going to find this valuable. It will, as been pointed out, will be on our website when it's finished. So those are friends of yours who could not get in at this hour to basically take advantage advantage of all the resources we have. They will have this on our website and they will have an opportunity to see it themselves. So once again, I want to thank all of you. We had a great number of folks who've signed up for this particular workshop. I thank all of you for coming. Thank my staff for putting it on, and I'll turn it back over to Betsy now so you can get the information that they have for you and have a wonderful, wonderful workshop this morning.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. We always appreciate your vision, and you lead by example, and we so appreciate it. So thank you. Just a reminder, after the nonprofit presentation and the demonstration that we're giving you today, at the end, we will have a question and answer session where you'll be able to ask our presenters, as well as some other subject matter experts that we'll bring on, questions relating to today's presentation. All questions will be asked using the Zoom question and answer feature found in the bottom middle of your screen. So if you move your cursor, you'll see the Q&A button. If you click on that and type your answer into or question into the Q&A, we will do our best to answer it live at the end during this 15-minute Q&A session, or we have people that are watching that and we'll be answering it as we go along. If at any time during the workshop you have a question surrounding the information being shared, as I said, type it into the Q&A session. Any questions not answered during the workshop will be responded to via email in a timely manner after the workshop. It is now my pleasure to introduce two of our wonderful subject matter experts and our presenters today. Greg Buford will give you an overview and description of different types of nonprofit corporations, and Tammy Rink will provide a live demonstration on how to create a bizfile online account, as well as to file and register your nonprofit corporation with the California Secretary of State using our bizfile online tool. With that, Greg, take it away.
Thank you, Betsy. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this information presentation. My name is Gregory Buford, and I work in the Business Entities Filing section of the Secretary of State's office. I, along with my co-presenter, Tammy Rink, will be sharing with you information regarding nonprofit corporations such as 1, what is a nonprofit corporation? 2, the 3 different types of nonprofit corporations that are most filed with our office, and 3, how to submit for filing a nonprofit corporation with our office by using our online filing portal called bizfile online. Next slide, please. We will now proceed with explaining what a nonprofit corporation is. A nonprofit corporation is a legal entity that has been incorporated under state laws to operate for purposes other than making profits. Typically, the most common types of nonprofit corporations that are filed with our office are public benefit, mutual benefit, or religious, depending on the purpose. Nonprofit corporations have members and not shares or shareholders like stock corporations. Seek legal advice, choose a nonprofit entity type, and file articles of incorporation with the Secretary of State. Next slide, please. Typically, a nonprofit public benefit corporation is a corporation organized for charitable and/or public purposes. These are entities formed to serve the public. Public benefit nonprofit corporations are distinct in the law from mutual benefit nonprofit corporations in that they are organized for the general public benefit rather than for the interest of its members. Typically, a nonprofit religious corporation is a corporation organized to operate primarily for religious purposes. Some examples of potential nonprofit religious corporations could be a church, mosque, or faith-based organization with a purpose based on religious values. Typically, a nonprofit corporation organized for a purpose other than religious, charitable, or public is formed as a nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. A mutual benefit corporation stands apart from the other types of nonprofits in that its purpose is to benefit its members and not the public. Some examples of potential mutual benefit corporations are homeowners associations or chambers of commerce. Next slide, please. These type of nonprofits may be eligible for federal and/or state exemption. Many nonprofits seek a 501 federal tax exemption. To learn about tax exemption eligibility prior to forming a corporation, you should contact the Internal Revenue Service at www.irs.gov and the California Franchise Tax Board at www.ftb.ca.gov. You may also wish to contact the Office of the Attorney General for information if it is your intent to register as a charitable trust. Their web address is www.oag.ca.gov. The fee for processing these nonprofit corporations submitted to our office is $30. For an additional $5, you can get a certified copy of the filed documents. Next slide, please. I would like to clarify something, and that is, there are two other types of business entities filed with our office that are mistaken for nonprofit corporations, but they are not. Those are the social purpose corporation and the benefit corporation. Again, these are not nonprofit corporations. A social purpose corporation is a type of stock corporation that, in addition to benefiting the interests of the corporation and its shareholders, has a stated benefit of either one, charitable or public purpose activities, or two, a purpose of promoting positive effects or minimizing adverse effects of the corporation's activities upon one of the following: A, the corporation's employees, suppliers, customers, and creditors; B, the community and society; or C, the environment. A benefit corporation is a type of stock corporation that, in the best interest of the benefit corporations, has a purpose of creating general public benefit. Next slide, please. Why register online? Virtually everything you need to file for your nonprofit is contained in our bizfile online portal. There are over 120 filings available online. The processing times are a lot faster than paper. You have secure access control over your entity, which, given how important online security is today, we also offer secure access control to online filings for your small business entity to help you prevent business identity theft and malicious or accidental filings. This allows only you or anyone you designate to submit online filings for your business. Also, you can receive email reminders. You can order certified copies or certificates of status for your entity, which you may need for securing business loans from financial institutions. When ordered through our bizfile online portal, these are typically processed and made available to you within 1 to 2 minutes. And you can request bulk data. Next slide, please. As you begin the process of establishing a business entity, one of our most useful online functions that we highly recommend you using is our Eureka AI chatbot, which is the cute little bear with glasses on our information page. Eureka has a wealth of information regarding starting a business, filing tips, news and notices, resources, and other helpful information. It will even provide you with direct links to online forums, depending on what you are asking of it. Eureka is available 24/7 to assist you in both English and Spanish. You can find Eureka on our website at www.sos.ca.gov and click on the heading Business. I would now like to introduce you to my co-presenter, Tammy Rink, who will assist you with how to create an online account and fill out a nonprofit articles of incorporation and submit it through our online portal. So without further ado, here is Tammy Rink.
Thank you, Greg. And good morning, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. My name is Tammy Rink, and I also work in the Business Entities Filing section here at the Secretary of State. I will be demonstrating how to create an online account and file nonprofit articles of incorporation using our bizfile online portal. Next slide, please. So on this slide, how to create an account, first of all, let's talk about why you would want to create an account. Some of the benefits of creating an online account are it's fast, it's convenient, you have more control over what you are filing, and you have access to your entity, making it easier to file other documents for your corporation, such as a statement of information or an amendment. You can also track the status of your document with the date submitted and a current up-to-the-minute status of that document. So let's talk about the access online. Once you create your online account, there are two levels of access, basic access and full access. Both levels of access give the user the ability to file all documents online on behalf of the entity. However, full access allows the user to grant basic access or full access to other users. Next slide, please. So in this slide, it shows you, we're going to show you actually how to file the articles of incorporation, and they're in 4 easy steps. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go ahead and create an account. Okay. So now you can see we're at bizfile online. So for you to create an account, you're going to open your browser, and in the search bar, you're going to type bizfile online at sos.ca.gov. And that will bring you to our bizfile online. Then over here, you're going to want to log in. Now, since you don't have an account yet, down here it says don't have an account, we're going to go ahead and sign up. So now on this screen, this is called an Okta screen. And what Okta is, our Okta is a third-party multi-factor authentication tool that allows the users to verify their identity when signing in and makes it less likely for someone else to gain access to your account. So this is going to be for you. This will be your email, password, full name and last name. The phone number and the organization are not required. So you can enter the information and you're going to click register. Now, once you click register, on the screen, you'll get a notice. It'll say verification email sent. Now, Okta will send an email to you and to confirm your new username, which is your email, and your password. You can look in your email. If you don't see it in your inbox, you may want to check either your spam folder or your junk mail. So once you locate the email from Okta, you're going to open the email and you're going to click on Activate Account. Then go ahead and return back to our home page. I'm going to go ahead and say back to sign in. Okay, so now you come back to our home page and you're going to click sign. You're going to enter your information and you're going to click sign in. And this is going to take you to our bizfile online home page. And over here, you're going to see that you are now signed in. It'll have your name and then your email address. Okay. So now let's go ahead and let's get started on filing our articles of incorporation. In the left window over here, we have a couple different options. Today, we're going to go ahead and click on Forms. I'm going to choose the form that you wish to file. You're going to file nonprofit corporation initial filing. So these are your articles of incorporation, which will start your business. And as we said earlier, there's mutual benefit, common interest development. There is public benefit, religious, and out-of-state nonprofit. Today's demo, we're going to use the public benefit. So when you click on that, it tells you it's $30 and that you will be filing a nonprofit public benefit corporation. Let's click File Online. So at this point, comes up and you're ready to go ahead and enter all of your information. So first off, we have what's called a privacy warning. So the privacy warning, you must agree to the privacy warning terms and conditions of use in order to file your document and copies and certificates. So over here, we're going to go ahead, read it. We're going to scroll down. You're also going down here at the bottom, you're going to check this box that says that you have agreed to the privacy warning and the terms and condition of use. So we're going to check that and we're going to hit next step. So the next step here is our submitter information. And this is basically the person that's submitting the document. It is not required. However, we would use it if there's an issue and we need to contact you relating to submission itself. Okay, so we're going to type in our name. Let's go back here. Let's try something. Email address. Okay, and you can enter your phone number and extension if you'd like, but it isn't required. So we're not going to. So let's check next step. Okay, so here's the corporation name. So the name, the proposed name that you're going to use, you're going to want to type it in exactly as it is of record with our office. This is how you want it to show up on the documents. Also, if you have a previously reserved name, and what that is you would have reserved your name prior to filing your articles of incorporation, you can use that name. If you say yes, then the box comes up here and the name that you reserved will show up, and then you click on the name. For this one, we're going to say no. Now, before we type in our name, I want to show you over here, there's a little help button. If you click on this help button, it gives you more detailed information about the entity name. Okay, so right now, let's go ahead and let's try a name here. Okay, so now here where you confirm the name, you'll see that it says, sorry, the name is already taken. Please provide a different name. Okay, so we're going to go up and we'll see if we can find a name that will work. And we'll tab down, and here you're going to type it in again to confirm it. And it looks like it may be okay because it did not give us the, it didn't tell us that it was already taken. So let's try that. Let's go next step. So now that what this does is it performs a preliminary search of the name, and what that means is it just checks it against other names that are the same or similar right now on our records or that have been reserved. Okay, so it looks like appears to be okay for now. So now here's the business addresses. So you have your initial street address and then a mailing address. So the street address must be a physical street address. Okay, so we're going to type that in. All right, we're going to tab down. Now in this field here, this is for the mailing address. The mailing address can be a PO box because it's just for mailing purposes. Okay. Also, if you are not using a PO box or a different address other than the principal address, you can click here and the address that you did enter up there will show up. And if you're going to use that address, you can click on it and it will show up. So go next step. Here is the agent for service of process. So what the agent for service of process is an individual over the age of 18 that resides in California and has a physical address. Now this person would be used for the service of process, lawsuits, other types of legal documents on behalf of the entity. You may also use what's called a 1505 registered agent. Now what that is that is another corporation that has registered with our office to act as a 1505 agent on behalf of other entities. If you had chosen 1505, you would click this button here, and then a message comes up and it tells you must receive advanced approval from that corporation in order to use them as your agent. You would also check the certified box that's saying that, yes, they agreed. And then down here, you would type in their name. Okay, so for this purpose, we're going to go ahead and say an individual agent. Okay. And we're going to say that Renee, who's filing the articles, she's going to act as her own agent. Okay, over here, we're going to here, and we're going to go ahead and use her address as well. Okay, so let's go to the next step. So in this step, this is a purpose statement. So this statement up here is the required purpose statement for a nonprofit public benefit. So it will appear and you do not change it. Since this corporation is a nonprofit public benefit corporation and is not organized for the private gain of any person. It is organized under the Nonprofit Public Benefit Corporation Law 4. Now you have three choices. You can choose public purposes, charitable purposes, or public and charitable. And if you notice, if I click either public or public and charitable, additional statements portion comes up here. And what this is you will need to set forth a specific purpose, and it's just a basic of what your entity is going to be doing. So for this, we're going to say rescue and rehome animals. So that's what we're going to say here. Okay, now up here we have your tax exemption status. So when you file as a nonprofit, you have the option to file, if you're going to file for tax exemption status, with either the Internal Revenue Service, and they also have 501c3, I believe is the most common. However, there are other types of tax exemptions. And if you intend on applying for a different type that is not the 501c3, you would need to set forth those additional required statements on an attachment, and then you would upload that page. And that would be uploaded in our next section where it says attachments. So for today, we're going to go ahead and just choose the 501c3. And then when you do that, here is all the tax language that is required when filing as a 501c3. So then you do not have to include another attachment for that. Now down here is the filing date. The most common filing date is the current date, which would be today's date. It's the date we're submitting the document. However, you may wish to use a future file date, and that can be 90 days out from today's date. If you do choose a future file date, the document will not be reviewed and filed until that date, and then it would not show up on our system until then. Today, we're going to choose the current date. Okay. Let's go to the next step. So the next step here, this is the attachments, where if you did choose the other for the tax exemption, you would add that form here. Also, attachments are optional. If you wish to include additional article provisions or additional statements that are not included on the online form that we're filling out, you would be able to draft up those, set those forth on additional attachment, and then also attach that here in this section. However, you may not include a drafted articles of incorporation, as this online form is all that is required. And if you were to include additional articles, the document would be returned for correction. Now, if the document is returned for correction, you will have 30 days from the date of the notice to correct your document and then resubmit it to our office without paying an additional filing fee. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to our next step. Okay, so here is our review and signature. Now in this section, it allows you to review how the form is going to appear, all the information that you have chosen. And if you decided that you wanted to change something in the information, you can always go back up to, say, the business address. Say maybe, wait, I do want to use a PO box. Then you would just come in here and you would just change that address. You can also toggle through the different sections of the form here, and it won't. It's not going to hurt anything. The information will still be there. And at the review and signature, before we go on, you would want to save your draft down here so that if anything happens, you would have that saved draft and you would not have to start over on the form. So we're going to wait till we do our signature for that. So down here, the signature, electronic signature, the options, one signature or multiple. Now, articles of incorporation only require one incorporator to sign the document. If you decide that you wish to have more than one incorporator, then you would click the multiple signature button. And then down here in the send for signatures, here is where you would add those signers. You would need to add both of, or however many, say you have two, you would need to add both of them separately. You click add signer, type in their name, you save, and then you do it again for both of them. And then at that point, you would send for signatures. Now, once you send for signature, the signer will receive an email from you with a link to the form, and they would view the form, and then they would sign it and they would send it back to you. And then once they have sent it back to you, then you will be ready to continue. So for the purpose of this demo, we're going to go ahead and just say one signature. And then down here, you're going to click the button that you declare that you are the person who executed this document. We're going to add the signer. This signer is Smith. And then, so the date will always be today's date. That is the date that you're submitting the document. So we hit today. I'm going to say save. All right. So now we'll go to next step. And then here's the processing fees. So it tells you up here, the processing for nonprofit is $30. And then it also tells you that the franchise tax board, you may be required to pay a minimum tax of $800. However, that is something that you would wish to contact the franchise tax board for. Also, if you would like to receive a certified copy, it is an additional $5. You would check this button here and it would automatically be added to the fees. However, we're not gonna choose a certified copy. So down here on our service options, there's standard, which is our standard 3 to 5 business days processing time. We also have a 24-hour expedited service. That is $350. And what that is the document will be reviewed within the 24 hours from the time that you receive it. It will be ready within 24 hours. We also have a same-day service. It's $750. Now, this document would need to be in by 9:30 in the morning, and it would be ready by 4 p.m. that same day. Both of these expedited fees are non-refundable because they are service option that we offer in getting your document reviewed within that specific time period. For this one, we're going to go ahead and choose standard. Okay. All right. So then we're going to go next step. Okay, and this is where you will actually file your document online. And when you hit the online, it will take you to the processing fees. You will pay by credit card, and then you will hit submit. Now, once you hit submit, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Actually, let me go back real quick, because I believe on the review and signature, I did not save the draft. I want to save the draft. Save real quick. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go to my work queue. Say no. It takes me back to my work queue. Looks like I saved 2 of them. So at this point, when you hit submit over here in the status, it's going to show pending review by our office. Once our office has reviewed and approved your filing, this will change to approved. And then at that point, it will show up in my records, and then your entity will be ready. There's nothing there. Your entity will be ready for you to go ahead and file other documents that you need to file on it. Go ahead and go back home. So now at that point, you are ready to go. You're ready to file anything else that you need to on your articles of incorporation. Okay. Please note also that in the My Work queue, any documents in here, they're only going to show up for 60 days after this date, and then they drop off. Okay. So that portion. This concludes my demonstration of filing the nonprofit articles of incorporation with the California Secretary of State's office. I hope you have enjoyed this video and that this information has been useful. And remember, our Eureka AI chatbot, the cute bear with the glasses, is available 24/7 to assist you. Thank you for joining us for this presentation. I will now turn it back over to Greg.
Thank you, Tammy. Lastly, we have many resources available on our bizfile page, including announcements for upcoming virtual events where we describe important filings and demonstrate how to file them in our BizFile online system, links to recordings of past virtual events, as well as a growing library of how-to videos. You can also find filing tips and FAQs for many items. I will now turn it back over to our Division Chief, Betsy Bogart.
Thank you, Greg and Tammy, very much for that very helpful and informative information on nonprofits and the demonstration of our BizFile online tool. We'll now come to the part of our question and answer session. And I'd like to introduce you to, in addition to Greg and Tammy, who will stay on for to answer questions, we have joining us two of our legal team, Janae Marlin and Paige Kent, as well as Alex Ting, our Assistant Chief of our Business Programs Division Automation team. So again, please note, if you have a specific question regarding your entity, please email us directly at bizfile@sos.ca.gov or call us at 916-657-5448, and someone will respond to your inquiry. So some of the questions we see in the chat, and I don't think we'll be able to get to all of them because you guys are asking some great questions, and we want to make sure we get to all of them. If we don't get to them, we will answer them after via email. So Alex, can you talk about whether they can register an already existing nonprofit to access online?
Yes, so I'm assuming the question is you have a nonprofit and you'd like to be able to do perhaps additional filings on it. Yes, so you would, as Tammy demonstrated, go to our BizFile online site, create an account, and then when you search for your entity through our business search, you'll be able to locate your entity. Click on that in the search results. On the right-hand side, it'll pop out some details about your entity. And what you'll need to be able to do is take control of your entity through our user access control. And you'll be able to request access. So there's a little button, I think on the bottom, if I recall, that says request access. When you click that, it will generate a letter that will contain a PIN that will get sent to the business's mailing address of record. With that PIN, that number, you'll be able to come back into our site and enter that in and gain access control of your entity, which will allow you to file on it.
Great, thank you, Alex. Another question from Michelle. Tammy, could you answer this? The online nonprofit article section is confusing as it says special purpose corporation. Can you talk a little bit about that and how they go about that?
So the special purpose, if it's a special purpose, are you talking about the not a nonprofit and the stock one that Greg briefly talked about in the beginning? Or are you talking about the specific purpose?
Yeah, Michelle, we'll take that one offline and reach out to you directly when you signed up with your email, and we'll have a separate conversation on that one. Paige, maybe you can take this one. How would a public school apply, open an account for a booster club? Would an administrator start the account or a person of the community? I believe they're talking about creating the online account and then registering as a booster club.
Okay, well, an incorporator of the soon-to-be corporation, if this was going to be a nonprofit corporation, could open an account with BizFile on behalf of that entity. In terms of, the specifics of booster clubs, our office would not be able to advise you on that. But if you wanted to file as a type of nonprofit corporation, if the booster club wanted to, then you would take the steps that Tammy just outlined to do so using our bizfile online. And in terms of your question of would an administrator start the account or a person of the community, it's someone that would be the incorporator that the soon-to-be business entity has nominated essentially to be the incorporator to file those articles of incorporation. So I hope that answers your question. Again, we can't, maybe someone else here has more of specific information about booster clubs, but we wouldn't be able to provide you information about the activities of booster clubs. If you wanted more information on the 3 different types of nonprofits that Greg outlined, we gave a very brief sort of introduction to those, but our website does have more detailed information about those specifics. If you're trying to decide which one, of those that the Booster Club might classify as, I would just refer you to our website for some more detailed information.
Thank you, Paige. And as Tammy went through at the very beginning of her portion, whether it's the administrator or a community member initially setting up the articles of incorporation online with a bizfile online account, once that is established and those articles are filed, that person will have full access to the online account and will be able to grant others basic access or full access so they can file other documents. So say the administrator starts it, but then once it's started, the board of directors want to have access to the online account to be able to, for example, to file their statement of information. Whoever originally submitted the articles online can grant that person access. And that's described in detail in the help section on the bizfile online page. Hopefully that helps you a little bit. Let's see what other questions we have. Janae, maybe you can take this one. Is it possible to use bizfile to file a Word PDF version of articles of incorporation if someone prefers to file the long version of articles and does not want the computer generated articles? Or should it be submitted in person if the formal is preferred?
If the long form, free form document is preferred, the customer has the option to file on by mail or over the counter. The online submission will create the form, and it allows to add additional provisions. So you can still do the online wizard, do the form, and add any additional provisions. You just can't have duplicative provisions. So you can't attach an entire new set of articles of incorporation, but you can add additional provisions to that and submit it online. Otherwise, your option is to file over the counter or through the mail.
Great, thank you, Janae.
You're welcome.
Just looking for some more questions. Janae, could you answer this one? What is a mutual benefit common interest development?
A mutual benefit common interest development is a Davis-Sterling Act entity, and it is formed to manage a common interest development. So the entity is formed to manage a different common interest development. More information on that can be found under the Davis-Sterling Common Interest Development Act.
Thank you. Tammy, at the beginning of your demonstration, you talked about once you enter your OCTA information, you'll get an email to verify the online account. What happens if I don't see that email in my inbox?
I'm not sure that I noted also if it wasn't in your actual inbox that you could look in your spam or your junk mail it might appear there. And it would be from Okta.
If you do not see it in your spam or junk mail, then please reach out to our bizfile at sos.ca.gov, and our automation experts will help you out. Greg, another question. How do we reserve a name in advance for our nonprofit corporation?
Hi, you can go on our website at www.sos.ca.gov and look in there, and there's a heading on the left under business, and it'll tell you about reserving a name, and it'll walk you through the process of reserving a name online. And the fee for reserving a name is $10, and it will hold the name for 60 days in order for you to submit your articles of incorporation. So it's a real easy walkthrough process. Thank
you, Greg.
You're welcome.
I'm going to throw this out to the whole panel. So whoever would like to answer this one. It's from Lena, and it says, I filed the company and get the articles already past the 45 days for publish the name. Now my question is, can I still continue with the registration, or do I need to start over again with the registration with the SOS and get new articles? They say of information. I think they mean articles of incorporation. Can anybody take that one?
Betsy, I can try. It sounds like did she just register the name with our office and not actually file articles of incorporation? Is that what might have happened?
Might have happened. Let's answer it that way. And
so if you did that, if you just registered your name, what it does is it just registers your name and it holds it with us. And then what you would have to do is you would have to cancel that name registration in order for you to file actual articles of incorporation, if that is what you did.
Okay. What we will also do is have someone reach out after this workshop to Lena to make sure that we did answer the question. Or Lena, you can always email your question to bizfile at sos.ca.gov and leave a phone number, and we'll have someone get back to you. Someone is trying to update the SI 100. So let's see, Alex or Shannon, do you want to take that one?
But I can take that. I'm scrolling up to
okay.
Kathy's original question. How do you file a SOS after the date that is listed expired a couple months ago? Lets me into the filing, but just gets a blank page. So looks like you're in the right place, Kathy. But if you're getting a blank page, that sounds like we might need to take a closer look at that. So we will reach out to you after that just to get more information from you to see if there's a technical issue, just to make sure we can get you up and running. But it sounds like you're in the right place.
And just make sure that you're logged into your online account. So you're able to click on the file a statement of information button. We do also, for those of you that are already formed as a nonprofit corporation, we had a previous webinar on how to file statements of information online that was very helpful. And that video is also available on our YouTube channel and I believe on our bizfile online homepage. So feel free to take a look at that if you're trying to file your statement of information. There's also detailed information on the help guide. In both situations, we went over a for-profit stock corporations, how to file. Actually, I take that back. We went over an LLC statement of information, a limited liability company statement of information, but it's basically the same steps. So please check that out as well. And Alex or Shannon, if you see any other questions that might be helpful, we have a few more. Probably can answer a few more. There was a question, the IRS requires certain language in the Articles of Incorporation. However, with the new filing format, how do we get those specific language in the articles? Janae, do you want to take that one? I think it's related if it's a 501c3 or maybe they have a 501c4. How do they get that language added to their online Articles of Incorporation?
So if the Articles of Incorporation have already been filed and you want to add additional information, that can be done with the certificate of amendment. Just the amendment you'd go through, it's a $30 filing fee, and you would just amend the article provision that you want to add the tax exempt language to. And those types of amendments are filed by mail or over our counter.
And if they're starting a new business, a new nonprofit, what would they do to get their specific tax provisions in the online articles?
So on the wizard for the nonprofits, there is a question that asks if you're going to try to get a tax exemption. If you click yes, some of those tax exemptions are included on your articles, and it'll show you which ones. If the ones that are included are not sufficient and there are other ones you want to add, you can attach additional page with those additional article provisions. Just remember, any attachments have to be in addition to what's in the document and not duplicative. So not another set of Articles of Incorporation, just the additional tax language that you want to add.
Thank you. I'm going to answer Chris's question live. Who is the best entity to help someone to set up your nonprofit? An attorney or a CPA? Certainly a CPA can give you tax advice, but I would recommend going to an attorney that specializes in helping nonprofits, and they can help you determine what's the best type of nonprofit corporation for what you're trying to accomplish, and then also likely can answer some of the tax questions as well. You want to make sure you remember, this is, if everybody's not multitasking right now, stop and listen to this. If you file your nonprofit Articles of Incorporation with the California Secretary of State, that does not mean you do not have to pay taxes. You still have to file documents with the Franchise Tax Board and the Internal Revenue Service to become tax exempt. So, and then you must continue to file those with those taxing agencies to become tax exempt. Otherwise, your nonprofit corporation has to pay the minimum franchise tax to Franchise Tax Board, which is currently $800. I believe it might be waived right now, but you want to make sure you do both those steps. We are just the first stop. So please make sure so that you can continue to do your good work and not have to pay extra taxes. You must file with the Franchise Tax Board and the IRS. I think we are about out of time. So thank you all very much for the great questions. If we did not get to your question, we certainly will, after this meeting, have our experts make sure they reach out to you. If you do not hear from us, please feel free to ask us, give us a day or two to get back to your response. But if you don't hear from us, please email us at bizfile@sos.ca.gov or call us at 916-657-5448. We do have a phone line where you can put in your phone number and we will call you back when it's your turn in line. So you don't have to wait. I know our wait times are not what we would like, but I promise you our staff are working as quickly and as diligently as possible. So again, shortly after this presentation, we will be sending out to all registrants an email And that email will include a link to this recording, as well as a short survey that we hope you will provide us. And thank you all very much for the thumbs up and the hearts and the claps. Very much appreciate it. Want to give a shout out to all of our Q&A team, as well as a special shout out to Greg and Tammy, our presenters, for providing such great information to all of you. If you are interested in specific webinars or would like to provide more detailed feedback of today's workshop, again, please provide that via email at bizfile@sos.ca.gov. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we hope you enjoy your rest of the day and your long weekend. Thank you again.